The day before the track and field competition, my sister and my fiancé teamed up, dead set on making sure my stepbrother snatched the championship. The two of them straight up broke my leg together just to stop me from even showing up. From that moment, I was completely done with them, like, finished, no turning back. I booked a plane ticket and dipped out of the country. I deleted all my social media, changed my contact info, even changed my name, and vanished without leaving a single trace. 7 years later, I came back to my home country and showed up at a charity auction. The moment my sister saw me, shock hit her hard. "You're not dead? So just because of a broken leg you stayed mad at us for 7 years?" My former fiancé froze for a second, then shot me a warning look. "John doesn't know anything. Don't mess with him." John, my stepbrother, my father's illegitimate son who was raised outside the family. I already knew my former fiancé and my stepbrother were engaged, and their wedding was set for a week later. None of them were happy to see me back. But I didn't return to fight my stepbrother for attention or play family drama. I came back for one reason only, to accompany my wife to her grandfather's 80th birthday celebration. Chapter 1. The plane landed, and the familiar air rushed into my lungs. 7 years had passed. The city I once knew like the back of my hand had changed so much that even the expanded airport looked totally foreign to me. People change, places change, that's life. "Sir." I snapped back to reality. It was Angelica's assistant. She took my suitcase and gave a slight bow. "A private car has been arranged for you. The charity auction you're attending starts in 2 hours. Would you like to rest at the hotel first, or head straight there?" "Go straight there." When I reached the auction venue, I told the assistant to leave and walked in by myself. There weren't many guests yet. I picked a seat, sat down, and casually flipped through the auction catalog. My eyes stopped on an emerald necklace. It was one of my late mother's designs, and the real reason I came back this time. While I was lost in thought, a hesitant, shaky voice sounded above me. "Oscar." I looked up and met a pair of red, teary eyes. It was Carolina, my blood-related sister. 7 years had gone by, and her features were sharper now, more severe. The shock in her eyes quickly turned into overwhelming joy. "Oscar, it really is you. You're not dead. This is great, this is really great." I only gave her a brief glance, my voice ice-cold. "Miss, you've got the wrong person." Carolina froze on the spot. She clearly hadn't expected that. The joy drained from her eyes instantly, replaced by panic and helplessness. She crouched in front of me, stammering, "Impossible, you're my little brother. I'd recognize you even if you were ashes. Where have you been all these years? You left one letter cutting ties with us and then disappeared. We thought something awful happened to you." Her noise caught the attention of 2 people nearby. A clear male voice interrupted, "Carolina, sis, what are you doing here?" John, my stepbrother, walked over, holding the arm of my former fiancée, Sarah. The moment he saw my face, his polished expression cracked into horror and disgust. Sarah saw me and instinctively let go of John's hand. She stepped forward, eyes lit with excitement. "Oscar, is it really you? You're not dead." I put down the catalog and calmly repeated, "You're mistaken. I don't know any of you." I stood up to leave, but Carolina grabbed my wrist in a panic. She pointed at the scar on the inside of my wrist, her eyes blazing red. "I would never mistake this scar. Oscar, why won't you admit it? You're still blaming us, aren't you?" I yanked my hand back. Back then, John had deliberately splashed a pot of boiling soup at me. I dodged on instinct and shoved him away. By that point, Carolina's heart had already fully sided with John. When she rushed over and saw him on the floor, she didn't ask a single question, she just shoved me hard. I crashed into the edge of a table, my arm sliced open, bone visible. That was the first time she ever hurt me for John. After that, things only got worse, until the very end, when she personally broke my leg. Those memories clung to me like parasites buried in bone, painful and suffocating. Looking at them, I spoke slowly, one word at a time. "The Oscar Cruz you're talking about died 7 years ago. I have nothing to do with any of you." Then I raised my voice and called over a staff member. Please remove these people. They're harassing me. Chapter 2. The staff stepped in to escort them away, and both Carolina's and Sarah's faces turned ugly. During the standoff, the auction officially started. Maybe afraid of causing a scene, they finally held back and sat a few rows away from me. Soon, my mother's necklace was brought on stage. The starting price is $1 million. Carolina stared at the necklace, emotions clearly surging in her eyes. She moved closer and leaned toward me, lowering her voice. Oscar, I recognize it. This is Mom's necklace. I know you came for it. So did I. She seemed to be trying to smooth things over, her tone weirdly flattering. If you want it, I can buy it for you. You can keep it. Mom would be happy. As she spoke, she raised her paddle. $3 million. I looked at her and almost laughed at how ridiculous this all was. My mother's belongings, I would take them back myself. I didn't need charity from someone who had forgiven the person responsible for my mother's death. No need. I raised my paddle. My mother's things, I'll buy them myself. I don't need anyone's help. $5 million. Carolina Cruz frowned deeply. Oscar, I'm your sister. Why are you still holding a grudge? You've been struggling out there all these years. Do you even have that much money? Miss Cruz, you must be joking. I've been alone for years. Where would I suddenly get a sister? As for the necklace, don't worry about it. Her face flushed with suppressed anger, but she forced herself to hold it in. John Cruz, sitting beside her, raised his paddle. Sis, since Big Brother wants it, let's bid for it and give it to him. He's been outside for so many years. He's probably never even seen this kind of money. Let him open his eyes. $8 million. He was bidding on Carolina's behalf and flexing on me at the same time. Carolina sighed, sounding like someone indulging a spoiled favorite. Oscar, stop being stubborn. Let me buy it for you. Think of it as me making it up to you, okay? Sarah looked at me, her expression complicated. Oscar, don't cause trouble. We know life hasn't been easy for you out there. Sentence after sentence, all of them convinced I was still that pathetic kid who couldn't live without the Cruz family. I raised my paddle again. $10 million. That's enough. I'll buy it for you. Carolina lifted her paddle once more. I was done with the pointless tug-of-war. I calmly said one number. $100 million. The entire hall went dead silent. Everyone was stunned by the insane price. It had long blown past the necklace's actual value. John clenched his paddle but didn't raise it again. He knew damn well he couldn't afford that number. Anger flashed through Carolina's eyes, then faded into a tired sigh. Fine, have it your way. The auctioneer slammed the gavel. A staff member approached with a polite smile. Carolina immediately pulled out her black and gold card and handed it over. Put it on my card. I handed over my own card before she could react. Charge mine. I gave them an address. And have it delivered directly there. After that, I didn't give them a single glance. As the entire hall sat there stunned, I stood up and walked straight out to Chapter 3. Walking out of the auction hall, I was just about to call my assistant when a figure suddenly blocked my path. Damn, it was Sarah. She had actually shaken off John and Carolina and chased after me alone, seriously stubborn. She reached out, trying to grab me. Oscar, where have you been all these years? Why did you only come back now? I missed you. I instinctively stepped back. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught sight of John hiding in the shadows not far away, staring at us like a straight-up predator. But Sarah didn't notice him at all. She just kept moving forward, even spreading her arms like she was about to embrace me. Oscar, we. Just before she could get close, John came charging out with a furious roar. Sarah, didn't you say you were going to the restroom? What the hell are you doing here? He grabbed Sarah with a death grip, glaring at me with an expression that looked like it could tear me apart. I just came out to get some air. Sarah pulled her hand back in panic, explaining vaguely, clearly flustered. But John didn't believe a single word of it. He turned to me, gritting his teeth as he snapped, Did you call her out here, Oscar? Let me tell you, Sarah and I are engaged, and we're getting married next week. I know you two were involved before, but she's my fiancée now. She's mine. You're just like your dead mother, cheap, and you only know how to steal what belongs to others. The crisp sound cut sharply through the silent night. I slapped Sarah across the face, hard as hell. She was stunned. John was stunned. Then I raised my hand again and slapped John just as fiercely. I have zero interest in your pathetic drama. I looked at Sarah coldly. You chased after me. You caused this whole mess where I ended up getting attacked by a mad dog. That slap, you earned it. Shaking out my numb hand, I turned to John. And you, rest assured, I have no interest in leftovers that someone else tossed away. As I spoke, I lifted my left hand and showed them the dazzling diamond ring on my ring finger. Take a good look. I'm already married. My wife is 1,000 times better than a woman like Sarah. Someone like her, give her to me for free and I'd still think she's filthy. John, unlike you, I don't go around eating scraps from someone else's plate. And if I ever hear you insult my mother again, I'll kill you. Before either of them could react, my assistant had already rushed over and escorted me into the car back to the hotel. After I had just finished washing up, my wife Angelica called. Was everything smooth today? Very smooth. I got it, I replied softly. That's good. She paused, then added, the day after tomorrow is Grandpa's birthday banquet. When will you arrive? I still have something to take care of tomorrow. I'll get there early the day after. All right, I'll have the tailor send your suit to the hotel, and I'll arrange someone to pick you up. Okay. A few simple sentences, plus the video she sent of our daughter Melissa, and the darkness in my chest finally eased. Chapter for the next day was my mother's death anniversary. Holding a bouquet of her favorite white lilies, I went alone to the cemetery on the outskirts of the city. When I arrived, there was already a fresh bundle of lilies placed before the tombstone. Seeing me staring at the flowers, the staff explained, "Oh, these were delivered by a Mr. Cruz. He sends someone every year, though we've never seen him come in person." Mr. Cruz? Yes, I think his name was Cameron Cruz. Cameron Cruz, my biological father. Truly disgusting, this hypocrisy of his. If he really loved my mother so much, why did he bring home his mistress and illegitimate son, pushing her step by step toward death? I threw the lilies aside into a nearby trash bin and replaced them with mine. Mom, I'm back. Footsteps sounded behind me. I didn't need to turn around to know who it was. Oscar. Carolina stood not far away, holding a bouquet identical to mine. Her gaze landed on the tombstone. A long moment passed before she spoke hoarsely. Mom's death, it wasn't entirely John's fault. You know she had depression. She just couldn't get past it. It's been so many years. You should let it go. My heart clenched as if an invisible hand had gripped it tightly, squeezing out every breath. Yes, my mother did have depression. But her illness spiraled out of control the day Cameron brought home the pregnant mistress and John, who was only a year younger than me. It was Cameron and John who drove her to death. After she died, I pushed all the blame onto John. At the beginning, Carolina had been on my side. She stayed with me, comforting me awkwardly, saying she would protect me. But John was way too skilled at pretending. Whenever I pushed him away or snapped at him, Carolina would just happen to witness it. In a single month, the way she looked at me changed completely. She began to believe that our mother died purely because of depression, and that poor, innocent John had nothing to do with it. And I was just being irrational, venting anger, unable to accept seeing John do well. The balance in her heart tilted further and further. Until the day my leg was broken, I finally understood. In her heart, her real biological brother meant less than that pitiful, doe-eyed stepbrother. Carolina, I said softly, do you remember? The day Mom passed, you held me and told me you'd protect me, that you wouldn't let anyone hurt me again. She froze. What happened back then was my fault, she murmured. But 7 years have passed. Isn't it time to stop this? Mom wouldn't want to see us siblings like this. Siblings? I cut her off, turning to meet her eyes. The day you broke my leg with your own hands, I stopped having a sister. Yes, my leg was broken by Carolina herself. 7 years ago, the day before the World Athletics Championships, Carolina and Sarah called me to a warehouse. I thought they were going to encourage me. After all, I had trained for 3 whole years for that competition. But the moment I stepped inside, they shoved me from behind. Before I could react, Carolina grabbed a metal rod and brought it down on my leg. She said, "Oscar, don't blame your sister. John is competing too. He's suffered so much growing up outside. This is finally his chance to shine. Just give it to him." Sarah followed up with another strike. "Oscar, if your leg breaks, you won't be able to run. Then John can win the championship. Don't worry, I'll find the best doctor to fix your leg." Blow after blow. I passed out from the pain. When I woke up in the hospital, my leg was wrapped in thick plaster. The doctor said the bones were shattered. I could never be an athlete again. So now, why pretend to care? Carolina's face drained of color. I didn't. "Enough," I cut her off. "I don't want to talk about the past." But she grabbed me. "Fine, then we won't talk about it. Dad, he misses you. He worries about you all the time. We're a family. There's nothing that can't be resolved. Come home with me." I couldn't help but laugh as I met her evasive gaze. "Do you even believe what you're saying? If he really cared about me and Mom, he wouldn't have brought that mistress and her child home and driven Mom to suicide. He wouldn't have ignored me completely after you broke my leg. I'll find another place for Mom's ashes. I'm sure she wouldn't want to see you again. You." Her eyes reddened with anger, but when she saw the tears streaking down my face, she eventually released her grip. Chapter 5. I left the cemetery without looking back. When I returned to the hotel, the suit that Angelica Ramos had sent over was already hanging neatly in the wardrobe. The next day, for Mr. Ramos's 80th birthday, the entire top-floor banquet hall of the hotel had been reserved. As the husband of the Ramos family's eldest granddaughter, I arrived early to help welcome the guests. I was speaking pleasantly with one of the attendees when someone suddenly grabbed my arm. I turned and met a face both familiar and foreign. It was Cameron. When he saw me, he was momentarily overwhelmed with joy. "Oscar, you're really alive. Dad missed you so much." As he spoke, he even tried to step forward to hug me. I sidestepped, and he stumbled awkwardly into empty air. Embarrassed, he asked, "How are you here? Did you know I'd be coming and came specifically to wait for me?" I pushed away the hand he reached out again, my voice ice cold. "Sir, I don't know you. My name is Oscar Santos, and I've got nothing to do with you." He froze on the spot. Right then, Carolina, Sarah, and John walked over too. John slapped a hand over his mouth in some over-the-top shock. "Brother, how are you here? You need an invitation to even step into this place." "Oh, I get it. You say you don't want anything to do with us, but you heard we were coming to Mr. Ramos's birthday banquet, so you followed us here, huh?" I replied calmly, "I came to attend a family banquet. I didn't know you'd also be here." "Family banquet?" John's eyes went wide. "Brother, this is the Ramos family's event, one of the most powerful families out there. You couldn't even dream of getting close. Man, you're really good at lying." He turned to Cameron with a worried look. Yesterday he kept pushing us away but still tried to get our attention, and now he's straight up delusional, trying to cling to the Ramos family. If he offends them today, our Cruz family is finished." Hearing that, Cameron Cruz's expression changed. He grabbed my hand. "Oscar, listen. Go outside and wait first. When the banquet's over, Dad will take you home." Carolina rushed over too, grabbing my other arm. "Oscar, I'll have the butler take you back first. Stop making trouble." Watching them move in perfect sync, I honestly found it kind of funny. I don't even know any of you. How could I possibly be following you? And who told you I sneaked in here to cause trouble? I've already made it crystal clear. I have nothing to do with you. You're the one sticking to me like glue. Today is my wife's grandfather's 80th birthday. This is a family banquet for me. And I'm pretty sure the last thing she wants is to see you people ruining her appetite. Security, get these people out immediately. The guards were far away and didn't hear me, so I started walking toward them. But John suddenly grabbed me from behind, his eyes instantly red. "Brother, I know you don't like me and want attention this way. But today is really important for Dad, for the entire Cruz family. Can you please not make a scene here? The Ramos family is not someone we can afford to offend. I'm begging you, don't cause trouble. Just go home first. After the banquet, if you want to hit me or yell at me, I'll take it. His voice was loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. In an instant, curious gazes landed on me, and whispers started spreading. Just then, a cool, clear female voice rang out from behind the crowd. Who dares cause trouble in the Ramos family? Who dares slander the Ramos family's son-in-law? Angelica Ramos stood not far away, her cold gaze locking onto the people surrounding me. Cameron, Carolina, and Sarah froze. Their faces twisted from spiteful and ugly to shocked and confused. President Ramos, Cameron stuttered, instinctively letting go of my hand. Angelica walked over step by step. When she reached my side, she positioned herself protectively next to me. Lifting her gaze, she swept it over the three of them, her voice icy. Who gave you the guts to lay a hand on my man here? John looked like he was seeing Angelica for the first time and hadn't caught on yet. He rushed to explain, Miss, you misunderstand. This is a family matter. My brother is being unreasonable and making a scene. We just didn't want him offending your distinguished guests, so we were trying to take him away. Angelica didn't even look at him. She looked down at me instead. You okay? I shook my head slightly. The anger and lingering fear inside me melted away the moment I saw her. She gently patted my back. But when she raised her eyes again, all warmth was gone. Family matter? She let out a short, icy laugh and looked at Cameron Cruz. Mr. Cruz, is it? Your Cruz family's family matter needs to be handled at the Ramos family's banquet? And handled with such disgraceful tactics against my husband? My husband. The words hit Cameron like lightning. His pupils shrank, disbelief written all over his face. President Ramos, you must be mistaken. That's my son, Oscar. How could he possibly be? Carolina and Sarah were completely stunned. John straight up screamed. That's impossible. He's just some worthless loser who got kicked out of the house. He's been homeless for 7 years. How could he ever marry you? You must have been fooled by him. He's the best at acting pitiful. Oh. Angelica tightened her grip on my arm, her gaze slicing toward John. Are you teaching me how to do my job? I don't know if he fooled anyone else, but I know damn well he didn't fool me. Oscar is my husband, and the host of this banquet. She turned slightly toward the security captain in the distance. Throw these troublemakers out. The security team moved immediately, 2 guards per person, lifting Cameron and Carolina straight off the ground. 2 more went for Sarah and John, who was still shrieking and kicking like a madman. Cameron completely panicked, struggling hard. President Ramos, this is a misunderstanding. We didn't know Oscar married you. By that logic, we're practically family. Carolina grew frantic too. Oscar, hurry and tell President Ramos, we're your family. I looked at them coldly, not saying a word. Just then, a crisp, childish voice rang out, tinged with tears. Daddy! A tiny figure squeezed through the crowd and shot toward me like a little cannonball. It was my daughter, Melissa. Her little face, so much like Angelica's, was soaked with tears, her eyes red and swollen. Daddy! Did someone bully you? She wrapped her tiny arms around my leg, looking up with big eyes full of tears and anger. I crouched down and pulled her into my arms. Daddy's fine. Don't be scared. She didn't buy it. She turned sharply and glared at the Cruz family members who hadn't been dragged far yet. She raised her little hand and pointed straight, no hesitation, at the crying John Cruz. You ugly uncle. You made my daddy cry. You ugly uncle. John's crying stopped instantly, like he couldn't believe what he'd heard. Melissa ignored him, stomped her little feet, and charged forward, copying an adult as she used all her strength to shove John. Bad man. You're not allowed to bully my daddy. Her fierce but adorable outburst made the surrounding guests burst out laughing. Angelica walked over and picked up our daughter, her voice full of helpless affection. Melissa, girls shouldn't cry or throw tantrums all the time. Melissa wiped her face with the back of her hand, cheeks puffed as she kept glaring at them. Cameron looked at the suddenly appearing granddaughter and, after breaking free of the guards, spoke carefully. "Child, I'm your daddy's father. You should call me Grandpa." Melissa frowned hard, staring at him with pure disgust. "You're lying. My daddy said he doesn't have a father. He jumped out of a rock. So I don't have a grandpa either. You're just a big lying old man." A child's words, but every sentence cut like a knife. Cameron shook with rage and pointed at me, his face full of wounded righteousness. "You ungrateful brat. This is how you teach your child? Look at yourself. You marry into a rich family and suddenly forget your roots, forget who your real father is. Enough." An old yet gentle, authoritative voice sounded. Angelica Ramos's grandfather, Mr. Ramos, slowly walked over. He gently patted the back of my hand. "Good child. You've suffered." My eyes instantly reddened. "From the moment you married Angelica, you became my rightful grandson-in-law. You are part of this family. Anyone who dares mistreat you is someone who dares oppose the Ramos family." When he finished, he turned slowly, his cane striking the ground with a heavy thud. His gaze swept across the crew's family members, pale, trembling, nearly lifeless. "No one outside the Ramos family has the right to point fingers here. I made it clear to everyone in my circle, anyone who kept working with the Cruz family or the Serra family would officially become an enemy of the Ramos family." Those words were basically a death sentence for both households. The color drained instantly from Cameron, Carolina, and Sarah's faces. Sure, both families were publicly listed companies, but more than half their business depended on the Ramos family. If that cooperation got cut off, and the whole industry blacklisted them, bankruptcy was only a matter of time. Watching everything crash down, John completely lost it. He scrambled up from the ground, pointed straight at me, and started screaming like a lunatic. "But, you useless bastard! What kind of spell did you put on them? I'm the one born for greatness. I'm the one who was supposed to marry into power. And you, what are you? You're only fit to rot in the mud." Angelica's slap landed hard across his face, sending him flying. "Watch your mouth," she said coldly. "If you dare insult my husband or his mother again, I swear you'll learn what it really means to wish for death." By now, Carolina and Sarah didn't give a damn about John anymore. They were scared out of their minds. Sarah rushed over, practically crying. "Oscar, please, please beg President Ramos to spare us. For the sake of our childhood, I'm begging you. Please, have mercy on my family." Carolina nearly dropped to her knees. "Oscar, please. We're siblings. 7 years ago, I was wrong. I was awful. I'll make it up to you. I'll even break my own leg if you want, as long as it calms your anger. Just forgive me." Before she could finish, Angelica kicked both of them aside. "You dare bring up that leg?" The killing intent in her eyes was almost tangible. "Get out. If I ever see you again, it won't end with just a broken leg. I promise I'll make you understand what wishing for death really means." Watching this pathetic circus, I felt no satisfaction, only exhaustion. One glance was all it took. Angelica understood. She held our daughter, took my hand, and we walked out of the banquet hall together. Chapter 8. Back at the hotel, my phone went crazy, ringing non-stop like it had lost its mind. Carolina's and Sarah's names kept flashing back and forth. Annoyed, I shut it off. Then the doorbell rang. Thinking it was room service, I opened the door without much thought. It was Sarah. She looked wrecked, dark circles under her eyes, face pale and hollow. She didn't look like some rich princess anymore. "Oscar, I know I was wrong. Please talk to President Ramos. Ask her to spare my family." Leaning against the doorframe, I looked at her coldly. "Sarah, after everything that's happened, do you really think a simple, sorry, means anything? 7 years ago, when you all broke my leg, did you ever think about sparing me?" She went speechless. Her face shifted from pale to green to white. Then suddenly, she put on a soft, affectionate expression. "Oscar, do you still love me? Is that why you're doing all this? To get my attention? I know I'm still in your heart. Angelica and you are just acting, right? I can cancel my engagement with John right now. We can go back to how things were. I almost laughed from disbelief. Tell me, Miss Sarah, did you leave your brain at home? Do you hear the trash coming out of your mouth? Where did you get the confidence to think I'd want garbage like you? Angelica and I are legally married. We even have a child. You're not even worthy of being compared to one of her toes. My merciless words made her face burn bright red. Just then, at the end of the hallway, John came charging over like a mad dog. His swollen face twisted even more with jealousy and rage. Sarah, so this is where you are? You said you were going to the company to deal with the crisis. Why are you crawling to this bastard? He lunged at her, grabbing and hitting her wildly. Sarah, completely fed up, shoved him away hard. Are you done? If it weren't for you, would things have turned out like this? If you hadn't gone insane at the banquet, would our family be on the verge of bankruptcy? The two of them were like rabid dogs, tearing into each other in the hotel corridor, dignity completely gone. John got shoved to the floor. He suddenly looked up, eyes full of venom, staring straight at me. Oscar, what are you so smug about? You think you've won? I'm telling you, you'll never beat me. At least I still have a mother. And your mother? She's been dead for a long time. She died because my mom drove her to it. She was a loser who couldn't keep her man. Chapter 9. What did you say? I glared at him, fury burning in my eyes. John instinctively shrank back, but then went hysterical again. I said your mom was a useless loser who couldn't keep her man. My mom contacted her bit by bit, texts, messages, until she pushed her into depression. Then she went to see her in person and drove her straight into suicide. She deserved it. So that was it. Very good. Clenching my phone in my pocket, I continued calmly, so you're admitting it? That your mother deliberately provoked mine, step by step, until she killed herself. John didn't realize I was recording him. He only got more arrogant. So what if I admit it? Got the ability to bring her back to bite me? Let me tell you, Oscar, only winners deserve everything. You and your dead mom were losers from the start. Enough. I stopped the recording and put my phone away. Tomorrow I'll go to the Cruz household to retrieve my mother's belongings and relocate her ashes. As for you, wait for the court summons. I shut the door without looking back. The next day, I went to the Cruz residence alone. Nicole, John's mother, opened the door. The former mistress, now the lady of the house. She looked surprised for a split second before her face twisted into smug contempt. Oh well, back already? Where are my mother's belongings? I said flatly. She leaned lazily against the doorframe and laughed. Oh, those? We did a deep cleaning a few days ago. I thought they were unlucky, so I had the servants throw everything into the backyard trash pile. My fists clenched instantly. She smiled even wider. What? Angry? It's just a dead woman's things. Even if you married into the Ramos family, what can you do to me? I'm the lady of the Cruz house now. Just like your useless mom, she obediently gave up being Mrs. Cruz in the end, didn't she? Honestly, I should thank her. If she hadn't been so weak and died early, who knows how long John and I would have had to wait. With every word, the hatred inside me deepened. I took out my phone and played the recording. John's vicious voice echoed clearly. Your mom is long dead. We pushed her step by step. Nicole's smile froze. Deliberately provoking and mentally abusing someone with a psychiatric condition until suicide counts as indirect intentional homicide, I said calmly. So tell me, if I hand this to the police, will you and your precious son enjoy life in prison together? Chapter 10. You wouldn't dare. Nicole shrieked. If you call the police, I'll drag you, your father, your sister, everyone, down with me. Great, I shrugged. My life isn't worth much. If I can drag you and your bastard son into hell, I'd call it a win. Cameron and Carolina came down the stairs, looking like they'd aged 10 years overnight. I want my mother's belongings and her ashes, I said coldly. And from today on, no one with the surname Cruz is allowed to visit her ever again. The thing she regretted most in her life was meeting you. As for Nicole and John, whatever happens to them, they deserve it. Cameron snapped and lunged at me, trying to grab my phone. Chapter 11. I stepped back instantly. Take one more step and I call the police. The front door suddenly burst open. Angelica walked in with more than 10 bodyguards in black. She stepped in front of me protectively. Looks like you didn't take my warning seriously. The bodyguards restrained Cameron and Carolina. Nicole collapsed, pointing toward the backyard trash. My mother's belongings were brought back, covered in dust. I cleaned them gently, holding them tightly. Then I threw a document at Cameron. 7 years ago, I did a paternity test. You and John aren't biologically related. The words biological relationship shattered him. He turned on Nicole like a madman. I didn't look back. I left with Angelica. Chapter 12. The cruise group went bankrupt in under a week. Cameron suffered a stroke. Nicole went to prison. John was sent to a psychiatric hospital. I relocated my mother to a peaceful coastal cemetery. Mom, this is your new home. Melissa placed a daisy and said softly, Grandma, I'll protect Daddy with Mommy. I broke down. I had my wife. My daughter.